Surprise, surprise, we have arrived. Now you already know what time it is. This is the good morning, good afternoon, good evening special. What is that you didn't ask? Well, let me go ahead and enlighten you. It's gonna go up sometime today. I don't know which one it's gonna be, but just in case, so I'm not wrong, I'll say them all. But let's go ahead and get back to it. Regular Saltation Supreme programming. Let's make it happen.
Saying I'm top 10 legacy streamers ever. Oh yeah? Show me. The greatest thing about it though, you never see me deteriorate. You never see me get fat. You never see me look decrepit.
Never see you make progress. Never see you grow. Never see you mature.
You always see me with good energy.
Cap.
Besides a couple of times I might fall asleep on stream or whatever.
Bro, if your bedtime is 10:30, lay down, fool. Lay down. You are not 19 anymore, bro. These staying up to 2, 3 in the morning, it's a wrap on that, homie. I know you don't want to accept this, but when the bed is calling, it's time to lay down.
But besides that, you go to a 2020 stream, I've always went viral on TikTok. What else is new? That's funny because those same friends that would clown you for liking my content would definitely ask me for a pic in person and be geeked the fuck out.
You know what's funny is I would like to say he's lying, but this is what I'm gonna say. If you're a fan of him and you like him, bro, just keep it real with yourself. The same way we tell him to keep it real with himself is 2025. Just keep it real with yourself. You ain't got a lot to kick it, all right? If you're a fan, be a fan. But don't stop getting online acting like you don't like somebody and then you taking pictures with him in person. Like come on now. What are we doing?
Oh, you gotta drop 10 candies for that. Or basically, we was trying to get niggas to drop collectively 20 candies last night to open up a Tekken 8 lobby. Niggas didn't want to do it.
Why would they? With your old Tekken Popeye service gaming, bro. Why would they donate? So you can quit and go to the dashboard or stand there and sandbag? Yeah. That's they totally want to donate for that.
So I didn't open it up. Yeah, I know I got a lot of super young niggas that watch me, which is excellent.
Okay, so the biggest question is, why is that excellent? So you telling me when you look at your analytics, it's predominantly people near 18 and under? What are we doing? You really not beating these allegations, man. When you say things like this, it doesn't look good, right? Now, recently you were, looking at your fashion choices about 5-6 years ago, talking about how you dress and how you dress well, but you're trying to dress like people who are 17, 18 years old at the time, when you're already either mid-30s, you over 30 by this time. And if you ain't over 30, you're too close to 30. Why do you keep trying to impress teenagers?
If you could entertain the youth, you're doing something correct.
Great. Okay, let's get some examples about what entertains you. Well, it depends on what age gap. Now, when you say entertain the youth, how young are we talking? Are we talking Paw Patrol young? We talking Power Rangers young? Or are we talking Robot Chicken, Family Guy? How old are we talking about? And if you're entertaining people of that age group, you're doing something wrong. I'm here to tell you, you're doing something wrong. And I know you're probably wondering, what's wrong with that? Well, first things first, when it comes to entertaining age groups, it's generational. So within your generation, that means you're trying to act younger or be younger than you actually are. The younger people can see things that we do. They'll watch videos. Like for me, they might see some things or me make a joke. Once they look it up and they kind of get familiar with our culture of our time period, it'll be far more funny to them, but they didn't live it. So it won't be nearly as funny as it should be. They'll get it, they'll understand it, but at the same time, they're 18, 19, they ain't lived long enough. They can't even truly understand the magnitude of some of these jokes because they ain't even old enough. And of course, this is not a diss or anything like that, but this is the same way like Kevin Samuels said, you minimum have to be the age of 30 before you can actually start advising or anything. You have to have lived at least 30 years, at least 3 decades, minimum, low end. And I know you're probably thinking to yourself, well, I don't feel that way. It's cool you don't feel that way, but I'm gonna tell you something. Me watching something, I always use an example, me watching something at 16, we'll go younger. Me watching something at 10 years old is one thing. Me watching it at 16 is something completely different. Me watching it at 21 is something different. Me watching it at 30 is a whole completely different ball game. It ain't even the same show no more. Like I've had to actually go back and rewatch things older because I couldn't even truly understand the magnitude of what they was talking about. Like, for example, I'll give you a quick one, the housing market. When you look at some of these old shows, they're talking about, man, I make $40,000 a year. I'm doing well. 40,000 a year. And then it's like New York or something like that. When you don't even truly understand that statement until you watch it and you're getting hit by inflation. That's what I'm saying. So a lot of the things that are happening, you haven't lived it. So you heard them, you heard what they said, you understood it, but it don't hit the same until you live in it. That's the same reason why you can't write AI music, because it ain't lived it. So it can't put the passion in it. You got the words, but you ain't got the passion. You see what I'm saying? But I'm gonna let him go ahead and continue.
You know what I mean?
No.
If your audience is like, if you're like a older guy or a guy that's been doing this for quite some time and your audience is unks, you're losing.
So let me get this straight. Not being relatable to your audience in your generation is losing. If anything, you're doing it wrong. This is where Will Smith is making very huge mistakes as well. Will Smith is trying to, I guess, come back and relate to, I guess, 20 or 30 year olds. It's like, brother, you about to be a 60-year-old man talking about pretty girls and stuff like that. Like, the music you're making it like you're in your mid 20s or your 30s. And it's like, brother, you're supposed to grow up. The stuff you're doing with Joyner was cool. That makes more sense because the bars and everything else and sounding like you're an adult and the punchlines and the metaphors, that makes sense. But when she start growling and doing all this weird stuff instead of just rapping, it's like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing these Uzi Vert Migo overdubs for what? You don't need to do that. Stop it. You know, you're almost 60. Stop growling and grunting. What is that? You know, you got plenty of examples of this. If you are not relatable to, and you did not grow with your audience, or you're not appealing to the audience in your age, you're messing up, and you're messing up bad. Because if anybody can relate to you, it should be people in your damn age group, or at least within a 5 to 10 year gap. What are you doing? You're trying to stand out to 18-year-old teenagers, people in high school. Bro, we ain't got nothing in common with nobody in no damn high school. Bro, we're not TikTokers. You've even admitted to not even having an attention span. As an adult, what are you doing? What are you doing?
But if you could keep niggas as 20, 15 and up entertained, bro, you're doing something right.
You know who's young, who you should really kick it with? If that alleged situation with that kid being yours, if you want to kick it with young people or make an impression on young people, you should probably make an impression on your offspring. Now, again, all alleged. I'm not saying it's true, not saying it's false, not doing my research to find out. So I know a lot of people are like, where you look? No, I don't look into people's personal business. But if I see it, I'll say, hey, allegedly. If anybody you're trying to interact with of that age group should be your offspring. Regular people. I'm gonna tell you something that sounds hella weird. If you're an adult, there should never be a time that you should be excited about entertaining people who are teenagers. You shouldn't. We don't have anything in common at all. We don't think, I was gonna say we don't think the same, but you, never mind. I guess it makes sense why he's trying to have that as his demographic, because he acts like a child. You're in your second childhood, man. Come on now. You got to do better. And this is where I'll give him where he is right. If he was in it, let's say he was in his 20s. Let's say if you're 19 or 23, 24, if you're kind of early 20s and you're like, I'm trying to entertain 15, you don't have to try. You're going to do it because you're close. They still see you as cool because you're slightly older than them. So it makes sense there because you're still in that phase of setting, you're moving into trends. You're a little bit older. You can do a little bit more than they can. You doing more than them. So it makes sense because you're the next level that they're going to see, that they're moving up to. So then it's like, okay, because you're still in your early 20s, but when you're nearing 40 and you're almost at halftime, you should not be excited about entertaining 15-year-olds.
Because we already know everybody's attention span, including mine, is literally a matchstick.
Ain't never lie. But no, real talk. Now let's check this out. You a damn lie as far as people's attention spans, because TBH drops 50-minute, hour-long videos. People watch it. Asmongold. hour-long videos. People watch it. You got endless channels like this where people will sit there and watch it. They watch documentaries. They watch interviews. You know what I mean? Even on this channel, people could watch up to 45 minutes to an hour. So if they're only doing that on your content, that's the audience that you've cultivated. But you got it mistaken. That ain't everybody. Now, I'm not saying there's not a subset of people who don't have an attention span that's kind of fleeting, but that just means you don't have anything of substance. If you're putting out McDonald's content, you're going to get McDonald's feedback. It is what it is.
So clearly I'm doing something right. So everybody that come up to me is extremely young. We actually want you to, kind of make this a convenient thing, so it's not looking at something that you look at it like a job or, I got to do this and that. So basically, I'm going to shoot you that email. I've already got your payment. Thank you for the 5K.
4 out of 10.
I know that's kind of crazy, but it's going to be worth it. Godix Inferno, thank you for the 22 months. And then just let me know, let me know if you want a version that's even lower carb, if you're trying to get the apps popping for the summer. And then I'll hit you with different food options, bro. So how does that sound for you? Is that something that you can work with? Does that sound too difficult? I can simplify it for you, or is that a good way to start?
2 out of 10. If you want to portray yourself as a salesman, you don't ask them, is it? You sell them on what you're telling. But again, live stream, off the cuff. So not going to be too harsh.
And then boom, bro, you know how easily I can finesse is no problem. You know how many different I can morph into?
I don't play yourself. It was alright. I mean, it wasn't you acting like it was Blockbuster or something. Nah, it was okay. It definitely sounded like you were trying versus that being who you are. So it wasn't convincing. It wasn't convincing.
Easy. I could be 10, 12, 20 different
Ball rocks.
I could method act into 20 different people. You don't never know.
He could method rage into 20 different types of salt.
If you're paying a fitness influencer, that's crazy. But all they're gonna do is like chat GPT your question.
Yeah, I mean that's a fact. More times than not. But I'm gonna tell you, where the real money is, where the real advice is in a book, or it's in extremely boring documentaries where you gotta watch what these people are saying. They're not gonna give you the game, but the information that they give you, you can apply to your life. But they're not gonna tell you how to do anything. Nobody that you pay, it doesn't matter if it's Wes Watson, any of these people. If you go over here, if you, what's this, Andrew Tate, it does not matter. If you go and you pay any of these people, let me show you how to get a woman. Let me show you how to get a relationship. Here's another one. These damn TikTokers talking about what you can write off on your taxes. But yet they're completely leaving out the facts. They're going to mess around and get people audited. They're like, yeah, because you put your name on your clothing so you can write it off. It's like, that's not how that works. Oh, yeah, we just going to talk about business and record a 30-second video, but we gonna pay, write off a family reunion. No, you can't do that. I was like, your write-offs have to apply to your business. Like, you can't just write things off at random. It has to apply to your business and be utilized in it, because more times than not, they won't audit you. But the last thing you want to be doing is doing stuff you ain't got no business. So if they do, it lines up. Because if they start going through it and you had a $20,000, $30,000 event and you're like, yeah, well, this was a seminar for, they're going to say, okay, how was it? Okay, well, you didn't have to spend this much. Okay, well, why did you spend this much? Do you have the receipts that you spent this much? And then you're going to have to prove it. And you're not going to have the receipts to reflect the things that you're writing off. But you let TikTok tell it, oh, man, you can start a business with no money. You can, come on, man. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Come on, man. Stop.
And then they're going to do exactly what the fuck I did.
That's a dope meal plan, bro. Thanks. Do you do personal training, by the way? My wife is looking for a PT.
Oh, your wife's looking for a personal trainer. Could I see her Instagram, or is there any way that I could look at her Instagram and kind of like analyze her body type and check out everything? I want to see if that's cool with you. I'm just, copacetic reasons and things like that.
Copacetic reasons? Man, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to our next segment.
edition had already sold around 9.9 million units.
So basically, we've already started in the middle of the conversation, but basically, I think it's Adi Shankar or something like that. The producer's trying to take credit for the additional sales of Devil May Cry because of that series. Now, the thing is, with that series, people are not going to just look up the game because the series is there. And most people who did see it, who are familiar with the series, went back to play it again. And in general, that series would not drive any sales. It was not good at all. Now, as far as the animation, the artwork, and all of that, that was cool. But as far as somebody looking at it and saying, wow, I want to play Devil May Cry, no, that series didn't do that for anybody. Not at all. Cut it out.
Before the anime even came out. So I guess the anime just helped it sell that last, I don't know, 100,000, maybe even 50,000 copies left. And then he just goes on Twitter and is like, I did this. Even if it's satire, it's just still so disrespectful. And I think that's the reason that this tweet got 1.3 million views and only 1,000 likes. What percentage is that? 1.3 million and it only got 1,000 likes? Jesus Christ. Every comment in this comment section is basically just ratioing him.
Exactly. And the thing is I'm not just going hard on him because I don't think he produced this show the way that he did, trying to be ugly, trying to sabotage it, or trying to ruin it or anything like that. I think he genuinely likes the series. I think he genuinely is a fan of the series. But the thing is, he's a loser like all these other people who try to make these shows. You can't be a loser and produce a dope character. And I know in your mind, you're thinking to yourself, you're like, I'm not a loser, I'm cool. You're not cool. And the way that you know if you cool or not, do people try to emulate or act like you? Do you have a lot of people that say, wow, you know, I'm really inspired by your work, and then you see people literally trying to be like you? If you don't see a bunch of people trying to be like you, you're not as cool as you think you are. Now, it's not easy to tell, so I'm not going to just go hard on them because it's not an easy telltale to know if you're somebody that people like that. It's hard to tell. Like if you're inside look, how can I put this? Outside looking, inside looking. Basically, if you're that person, it's hard to tell if you are that person or if you're not. Does that make sense? But that's why I'm not being too harsh on them, because it's kind of difficult. Because in your mind, you may actually believe this and you may get the impression of this. But this is what I'm going to break this down to you why you're not. And this is just because you constantly keep patting yourself on the back about this. I'm going to tell you everywhere that you messed up. Okay, first things first. Your intro was cool. I liked it. It looked like it had a lot of potential. I really liked the homage to the Limp Bizkit, the Rolling. That was pretty dope for the intro. So I'm going to compliment what I liked. Now, when Dante came in, it was funny because he was making jokes. He was silly. That was silly him. But what I did not like is the fact that when you introduce Lady, we already know who the baddest one here is. And it's like, okay, so now we're doing that now. All right. And then there's Lady. And anybody who's unfamiliar with Lady is basically the bazooka chick. I don't even remember her real name. I just know she's the bazooka chick, all right? Okay? She has no powers. She just has the bazooka. And she basically subdues and captures Dante. And that first of all, nobody captures Dante. Nobody. Nobody. Nor is he a bumbling fool, nor is he weak. And I thought it was going to be like a joke, like he let her capture him and then just breaks out like, yeah, I mean, I play around sometimes. I would have even respected that because he could have just played along because he had nothing else to do besides sitting back eating pizza because he's that strong. Then your next mistake is you coming in here with these science bullets. Oh, well, these are demon bullets and this type demon type C and all that. Like, bro, shut up. That's not how purgatory demons, none of that works. Science, you cannot create something with science to affect the demon. That's not how that works. That's another strike. A strike after that was the lines. Like, even with her, she was like, oh, yeah, I'm that B. You chose the wrong B. I'm like, really? What are you, 9? Are you 9 years old? What kind of writing is that? Like, are you serious right now? Is that what we're doing? And then the other issue is, she's fighting bosses with science bullets. She's fighting 3 bosses with science bullets. And some of you may not be familiar with the series. If you're not familiar with the series, don't worry. I'm going to show you who these bosses are right now. And see, and this is just to put it into perspective. So I didn't even need to show all of them. This is just 2 of them. So she was one of them, and then Agni and Rudra were another one. Now, the true depiction of how they, because as in the later games, they start to fight better, the mechanics are better, and it's not so slow. But even then, if just to put it into perspective, the only reason why they're even getting worked like that is because he's got a demon weapon. And his bullets, he has demonic bullets. His bullets are conjured. That's why he has infinite ammo. So he's not even shooting regular bullets. These are not science bullets. These are literal power bullets that he's manifesting to his power. So whenever he's using his guns, he's not even shooting regular bullets. You get what I'm saying? But y'all went into a lab and made demon bullet, like a lab created demon bullets. So again, when we get upset, the true fans of the series get upset about this, I'm just trying to give you my criticisms. So it's not like, oh, this is just trash. No, I'm not going to say it's just trash. This is just a little bit of the outline as to why I don't like it, which is why I'm giving it a 3 out of 10. And because it's not this series, it's just the only time Dante will get captured by something is when he allows it to happen. The only time he gets hit is when he allows it to happen. He knows exactly who he is the entire game. He does. He knows who he is. Now, even if he doesn't like know the full extent of who he is, he's very familiar with what he can do. He's very familiar. Now, he may not be familiar with the caliber of what he can do, but outsiders are not going to know more about him than he knows about himself. That's just not how that's not how that works. The same way when he takes weapons from when he defeats a boss and takes their body and utilizes it as a weapon. So now all of a sudden he's just stupid and ignorant and doesn't know anything. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. That's not even this series. So if you're going in there to do a series, you need to stay true to form. That's like saying this. Okay, what's a good example? That's like making what's that boy's name? Cyclops. Making Cyclops a rainbow character. That's like saying Wolverine, he becomes soft and caring and more of a cute character. You'd be pissed. You'd be like, what the hell? This ain't my Wolverine. You'd be mad. If Wolverine was not gritty, you'd be mad. This is the exact same thing. Don't nobody want to see you mess up legacy characters. They are the way they are. That you can do a little deviation, like Wolverine. Let's say you make him say jokes here and there, but he's still mostly mad most of the time. Like Teen Titans is a good example of this. Teen Titans were serious, but they also joked a lot. But in the end, the Teen Titans were still the Teen Titans. They didn't leave legacy so much to where they weren't who they were. It was some silly stuff here and there. Even if you go as far as like the Marvel cartoons with the kids, they still are true to who they are, just in a sillier version. Dante was not true to nothing that he was at all, and he was treated like an idiot and treated like a fool in a weakling. And then there was a part he couldn't even break out of metal or steel handcuffs. He couldn't even break out of the handcuffs. Who was this character? Because I'm like, this dude and this boss that I showed you. This boss had him all up in her mouth. He was all up in the mouth and broke up out of there like it was no big deal. No big deal. Utilizes anything with just absolute precision and then manages to get hit by a grappling hook. Gets cut by a grappling hook. What are we talking about? These are things that happened in this series in the first few episodes. Like after the second and third episode, you already struck out, but I wanted to be fair and at least watch 50% of it. But this is what I'm going to say. I don't want to see a season 2. Don't make a season 2 to this. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. The refugee demons, they just want to raise families and all of that. Yeah, you heard me correct. This is not a good series. There were so many issues with it. The only reason why I'm not showing clips from it is because it's on Netflix. If this wasn't on Netflix and that fair use applied to Netflix, I would literally sit there and break down every last flaw without spoiling the episodes. I'll break down every last flaw with your series and things that I do not like. But the only reason why I'm not is because I can't. But yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and put that in there and let you know that this is a 3 out of 10. Your series is trash. I don't want to see a season 2. And if you like it, cool, that's good for you, but I don't. But if you kicked it with your boy this long, I appreciate you hanging with me. Links in the description below like always. And in the meanwhile, I'm out. Have a good one. And lastly, make your own series. Stop messing up ours.